Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of MT Talk Daily Contemplative Insights video. This is what I do every morning. I walk for about 90 minutes and dip into my emptiness inside to see what comes out as a contemplative insight on one or the other aspects of our life. So today I wanted to talk about the challenges and the difficulties that our children are facing around the world, especially the young ones, elementary, middle, and high school kids, and the ones that are about to get into college. So, I think all the children around the world are grappling with this new way of learning, the shift in the learning styles from the conventional classroom approach to now online remote learning approach. And with that comes a lot of anxiety. So today I thought I'll get into the head of elementary or a middle school kid and also a high school youth and see what goes on in their minds and get that perspective and offer a solution based on my contemplation. So when our children go to schools, they're used to a routine, they're used to a schedule, they're used to a protocol, a group setting. There is a learning environment that is a mix of social engagement, interaction with the teachers. There is give and take. There is an assignment, a set schedule, a protocol, and so forth. Right. So they've gotten kind of used to that style of learning because it engages all the different senses in that environment. The sense of sight, the sense of sound, the sense of social engagement, touch and feel. The smell and taste things in the cafeteria during the lunch hour, and so forth. So it was an engagement of all senses at different level. The learning was different, and so forth. And now suddenly they're at home. It is a radical shift in their routine, and that introduces a lot of anxiety and thoughts of not being able to comply, not being able to cope up, not being able to understand, which then triggers even more thoughts that I'm falling behind, I'm not learning as good, maybe others are learning better than me. There's so much distraction at home, there's so much expectations from parents at home to do other things, which was not there when I was in school, and so forth. So these are all challenges that our children go through. And same is the case with our high school students. They were used to a routine of having some social time with their friends along with the learning process. And all of that is disrupted. Now, with the high school kids, there's one more challenge. They were about to enter into college and transition into a very new phase, unknown phase of their life. It was anyway unknown as to what to expect moving out from high school and going into college, whether it's in-state, out-state, and so on and so forth. On top of that uncertainty and a black hole with lack of information, there's this new corona pandemic that has introduced even more uncertainty in terms of how the colleges, schools are going to change rules, applications, admissions, and so on and so forth. So that has compounded the anxiety of our high school students going into college about not knowing what to expect. And that creates a lot of additional stress about being not able to cope up, being left out, being not very clear about how to deal with situations like that, and so forth, right? So the feeling of not being in control is very disturbing to them. So all of these thoughts, they churn even more thoughts and then increases the levels of anxiety and stress, and you don't have anybody to talk to, right? Anybody that gives a clearer perspective. So those are some of the academic challenges, academic related challenges, but there are also emotional challenges, social challenges, Kids were used to going out and spending 2-3 hours of playtime. The high school kids, the older one, our youth, you were used to hanging out in the evening hours after school and create that social bonding, those memories, those little things that they used to do together, which brought them closer, helped them learn better about each other. Now with summer coming, school being out, not being able to go out and engage with our friends and spend that special social bonding time and release all the energy and feel a sense of freedom away from home and school, all that is missing. So that introduces another fear of missing out on friends, missing out on making memories, missing out on staying close to your close friends and so forth. So even then the mind churns a lot of thoughts about whether we're going to stay friends, whether we're going to be able to have common experiences that we can relate to if we are missing out on this social emotional time and so forth, right? So there are so many impacts: academic impacts, social impacts, emotional impacts, and our children are struggling because they don't know what to do with it, how to deal with it. So here is what I recommend the parents listening to this video, and even high school kids listening and watching, we should do. Number one, you are not alone going through this stressful situation. The whole world is trying to cope up with this new unknown. They don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to shift and respond from conventional ways to responding to this situation in a way that works for all of us. So the teachers, the schools, the workplaces, the corporations, everyone is now trying to find new ways to align and get things moving, get things going. Colleges, universities are also unsure about how they're going to manage a different way of accepting applications or starting school on time and so forth, right? So number one, you're not alone. Everyone is going through this together. So don't worry, right? Number two, the thoughts that you churn in your head, believe that they are all unreal, because they are, right? It's just the stories that your mind is making up. One thought arises, you're creating another story after that, and then that another story leads to another story and so forth. So before you know it, there are thousands of thoughts being churned in your mind about, oh, what if this happens, if that happens, and this will happen, and if this happens, that will happen. So you're creating stories in your head that are not true. It is illusory. It is not here and now. So therefore, don't believe everything that your mind tells you. Instead, here is what you should do. Every time you get a thought and it starts to create some kind of negative emotion, just say next. Just say next, which means at that moment, don't engage in the churning of that thought. Just wait and wait for the next thought to come. Don't chase the thought, don't churn any more thoughts, just wait. By doing that, what you will do is you will eliminate all that churning, and with that churning, eliminate all the negative emotions and tendencies that are formed in your mind. And you will see that 99% of your fears were all because of the churning. And once the churning goes away, your fears go away. Then you are in the present moment, waiting to see what comes next. And in that moment, you will then be guided to do what is necessary at that point and nothing more, right? So try that. Don't let your mind control you and take you away and churn all these negative thoughts. Third, believe that this too shall pass. Nothing in the world that has ever come to disrupt the world, and it's not the first time. We have had world wars, we had pandemics, we had Great Depressions, we had severe catastrophes, natural catastrophes, hurricanes, and things that have disrupted way of life for mankind in the past as well. But all of them have passed, and this too shall pass. So please, whenever the mind comes and creates fear about unknown, about uncertainty, about lack of information, about not being able to do things, just calm yourself down. Don't engage in the churning and just tell yourself, this too shall pass. And then you will collectively start to see that with all these principles that you're not alone, I'm not going to let my mind control me, and the belief that this too shall pass, and we will soon will soon come back and create a new normal, and life will be as beautiful and as blissful as it was, or as blissful and beautiful as we want it to be. You will get there, right? It's just a matter of time. So my dear students, please follow this. Don't bother yourself. A lot of things in life are overrated, so don't think too much about it. Just stay in the moment, follow these simple rules, and we will all be good, and we'll all come out positive, healthy, better evolved beings after this pandemic. All right, so take care, love you all, and I'll talk to you again in another video. Until then, love and peace. Bye-bye.